How to lose weight without dieting or calorie counting? If you ask that question, you probably already tried several weight loss programs by now, but somehow none of them seems to be working long term, aren't they? If that is your experience, then you're not an exception. What we all want to achieve here is to finally get that lasting effect. Am I right? Hi everyone, my name is Caroline and I'm a nutritional therapist, and I'm going to show you the approach to weight loss that I use, which I've described in my ebook course. My ebook course is a self-directed text-based course, which is 50-50% educational and practical. And my goal is to ultimately show you what to do, how to do it, and why I would recommend doing it this way. Because in my experience, for weight loss to be effective, you need to have a certain knowledge base first to build upon it, to understand why is it so hard to lose it and keep it off, and then you need to be able to use that knowledge in practice in your personal specific circumstances. So, everybody's on a diet these days, but we don't want another diet, we don't want calorie counting devices, and we don't want to stop eating all our favorite foods. It's all possible, but it's not a magical pill solution. I can lay out the whole path in front of you, which I will in just a second, but it's you who need to decide if you're going to walk this path and stay on it long enough to let it lead you exactly where you want to be in your weight loss journey. So, remember my approach? A healthy dose of necessary education first. The way we end up with our current body weight is never a straight line. Starting in infancy and even during pregnancy, and everyone is somewhere else on this body weight spectrum in terms of food education, living environment, ability to be physically active, or even having access to fresh produce. It's a collection of all these life experiences that determine where on the spectrum we're going to end up. So, let's take a look at what the typical dieting candidates are doing wrong out there. Number 1, calorie counting. Tedious, boring, and gives you illusion of control, when in reality it's your body that is always in charge here, adjusting your metabolism and the amount of calories that you burn to the amount of calories that you give it. It's a very important fact, so more about it in just a second. Number 2, going on diets that are not only low in calories but also low in protein, like eating lettuce 3 times a day. You are not going to get the nutrition needed for muscles, brain, and your organs, and you're going to get very tired quickly, biologically, mentally. And number 3, the biggest one in my opinion, going on diets program that are only for fixed amount of time, like 3 months program or 6 months diet program. And let's think for a second here, what is that going to be good for? Because if you're currently overweight, your excess fat comes from the day in and day out eating habits that you have developed over many years, meaning what you're doing as your normal is what keeps you being overweight. But the logic of a diet is that you go on a diet for a fixed amount of time, lose some weight, some of it just water, and then you're supposed to come back to your old eating habits. Those habits which are keeping you stuck in the first place. So this is truly a harmful pattern. I called it here a vicious cycle of metabolism destruction. You go on a diet, you lose some weight, then you come back to old eating habits, then you put on weight even more than before the diet. The way to sustainably lose weight and keep it off this time is by changing your everyday habits. Your day in, day out behaviors around food. And there's no need to turn your current eating habits upside down all at once. It needs to be a step-by-step process. You change one thing at a time. You just need to be able to stick to this one small change at a time. Do you think you can do that? Look, I get it. If weight loss was easy, the whole body slimming industry wouldn't be worth billions of dollars, because we want results and we want them fast. But the problem didn't start fast, didn't start overnight. As a matter of fact, in the last 2-3 decades, our entire food system has changed. From local farms delivering us the fresh produce to large centralized modern factory operations, which are basically selling across the world. This whole modern food environment is completely built against our biology. More food processing, longer shelf life, more unnatural produce developed in a lab. It is sadly profit-driven with focus on quantity and sales instead of quantity of our food, of what we're putting into our bodies. And nobody teaches us what effect those modern food products have on our health. I call them food products, not food. How to navigate these supermarket minefields and how to choose the right foods for us. So, yeah, I believe it's not your fault. You simply can't resist another bite of your favorite crunchy snack because people don't even realize how we are all being played by these companies and their food scientists to make their products simply addictive, to make these products have the perfect flavor, perfect texture, perfect crunchiness level, and all of it makes a product simply irresistible. So let's come back to the weight loss issue now. And look at the solutions. Number 1, throw away the paradigm of short-term dieting and calorie counting. Forget about it. The concepts are outdated and not helpful. Your body has developed very successful defense mechanism against losing the weight that you already have, because biologically speaking, your survival depends on it. Your body doesn't understand that you live in this weird modern world where you have absolute abundance of unnatural calories all over you. You are technically built for famine. So in a natural scenario, your body will make sure to make the best use of every calorie that you give it. Nature simply wants you to be bigger, because in nature bigger means more prone to surviving famine. So the paradigm in which most people are stuck in is that to lose weight, you need to simply eat less calories. But it's never as simple as generic calorie in and calorie out advice. Of course, in the end, it does matter how much energy in total you put into your body, but that is not all. Your body is not a calculator. You don't make a deposit of 200 calories and then simply take it out by running for half an hour. It doesn't work like that. But how does it work then? And how am I supposed to lose weight if I don't focus on limiting my calories after all? Well, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? It's actually a very big brainer, in my opinion. Diet is something you go on and you eventually go off. You jump in, you restrict the calories. Over a span of a couple of months of restriction, you affect your metabolism. And here is where the true harm is done. Calorie restriction biologically slows down your metabolism. I can't stress this enough. Calorie restriction slows down your metabolism. So if your basal metabolic rate was 2000 calories initially, before starting the diet, then after 3 months of restricting your calories, it might have gone down to 1400 calories, possibly even less. By restricting calories, you basically told your body that there's a famine and that there's much less food available. So your body responded. It said, all right, I will help you survive by slowing down your metabolism to conserve every calorie that you can get from me. So this effectively means that now, even though you eat much less, let's say this 1400 calories, you still put on weight from the same amount of calories. And you put on weight in form of fat because your body adapted to famine. Now it wants to preserve the calories, all the calories that it's getting, and is making them burn slower so that they last longer. There have been studies done on people who competed in those televised weight loss programs. You'll know which shows I'm talking about. And several months after the show, the contestants ended up heavier than they were before the show. Why? Because they significantly slowed down their metabolism by calorie restriction coupled with extreme exercise. There was even an example of someone who burned over 3,500 calories a day naturally before the show and now burns only 1,500 calories. And this is a long-term effect. The metabolism adapted. So they effectively now, this person eats twice less and still puts on weight. This process can be reversed, but it's not something that can be done overnight. Also, here important, it's not only the number of calories you put in that matters, but plenty of other factors, like what kind of calories. Is it fat? What kind of fat? Is it carb? What kind of carb? Simple, complex, fiber? Is it protein? Because they're all metabolized differently in the body. Like, have you eaten processed food with simple carbs or whole foods with lots of fiber in it? Completely different effect on your gut microbiome, on your blood sugar, even if they contain the same amount of calories. Also, another important thing, at what time are you eating? At 8 p.m.? A bowl of pasta eaten at 8 p.m. will have more effect on insulin spike and more effect on fat storage than the same bowl of pasta with the same amount of calories eaten at 1 p.m. And I could go on like this. So what I'm trying to say here is that human body is a living dynamic system and it's way more complex than we want to admit. So to learn how to lose weight effectively, you need to first find out why diets fail. And you just got your first lesson on metabolism and why calorie restriction destroys your metabolism, because it simply slows it down. Next, you need to learn what type of foods we choose, why the types of food we choose matter more than calories. For example, 100 calories of apples and 100 calories of apples with peanut butter and 100 calories of apple juice will all have very different effect on your insulin spike and in effect on your fat storage. Well, do we know which one is it that will have the most stabilizing effect? The one with protein. And the one that will be the worst? The one that is basically sugar, fructose water, which is apple juice. Okay, so the next steps would be, as my recommendation, to take a closer look at your gut health, and then at your thyroid health, then at your sleep patterns, and then looking at possible psychosomatic components sabotaging your weight loss. They all each play a significant role in your metabolism and might be stopping your progress, and all of them needs a little bit more time than I can provide in this video to be understood. So when these concepts here have been considered, and then it would be a good time to move forward to learn the pillars of sustainable weight loss, such as your blood sugar regulation and how to compose healthy meals. They don't need to be elaborate, you just need to know basic rules to compose healthy meals. Yes, it might look overwhelming at first, but only if you try to understand it all at once. Not when you try to take one step at a time. Then it's totally doable. And hey, I promise you, you can still eat the cake, but you need to be smart about it. You need to know when to eat it, how much, to have the least effect on your body. And after you're done with all your educational aha moments and you know what to do, now it's time to look at the practical part. So this is basically your blueprint here. First of all, you got to fix your breakfast. Breakfast and your carbohydrate intake. So this is your 101, and I will not let you move forward until you got this one covered, because this is what has the most potential to make the biggest impact to your body, to your blood sugar, and mostly even to your motivational levels. Changes needs to be done at your own pace, gradually. So, because if you try to do all the changes all at once, breakfast, dinner, lunch, snacks, you're simply gonna become overwhelmed and you might give up very quickly. Okay, then after breakfast and carbs, let me see, then we should look at the drinks. Yeah, we should think about the drinks. Drinks are such a big part of our lives that to redefine your drinks, you need time to try new things. Like, cut down on those drinks that make you put on weight the most and replace them with something you actually found to like. You need a couple of weeks to experiment what you like, what works, but once you got it, it becomes automatic. Same in next steps. You should look at lunch and then at snacks and then at dinner. But you don't only need to know how to make your meals more weight loss friendly. It's soon time to start working with your environment. Time to look at, let me see, what do you have in your pantry and how to restock. You need to know what to shop for and how to compose your meals. Once you have these aspects figured out, only then I would recommend to touch upon physical activity and intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is not absolutely necessary to achieve weight loss, but if you're open to it, I would certainly recommend you to take a look at it. There is so many health benefits to intermittent fasting. There's so much science behind it, so you could give it a thought or two. And let me see here. So I want to be clear. Achieving sustainable weight loss is a very individual topic, but one thing I'm convinced that is true is that everyone who makes an effort to first understand their body and then use that knowledge in practice have much better chance at achieving sustainable weight loss results. Because you cannot feel like you have to fight your body constantly. I don't want you to be hungry all the time. And also, I don't want you to merely follow any recommendations. I want you to actively understand why you're doing what you're doing and why. So guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope this video was valuable and you learned something new. So if you want more info, you can check out my ebook. Link is in the description. So thank you. Stay tuned.